Welcome to Clipscope with amazing, extraordinary TikTok videos. Let's get straight into it. What is going on here? Avalanche of some description. It's very uneven.
Back up.
Doesn't look
Hello.
safe. Back up. Yeah.
Back up.
Suggest you do that quick. It's a serious earthquake. The road's all crumbling. Some big hole.
Have you heard of a guy named Adam Archon?
No.
So he claims to be a traveler from the year 2045. He answers many questions about how 2045 will be. He says how humans have chips in them.
I do have an implanted chip in my hand known as the One.
That's how the future is like. The world will be ruled under one law.
In 2030, all of the world's countries converge into one nation.
And how we will come in contact with aliens officially. The public officially come in contact with aliens in the year 2028.
Yes, it is true that aliens did land on Earth in August 2028.
What freaked me out is he was hooked on the lie detector test. Every single answer he gave was passed. He did not lie. He would give very quick answers. The interviewer would ask him the question. He would immediately, confidently respond. No lie detector.
Wow.
On every single question that was asked. A proper polygraph examination.
Time travel, guys.
The possibility of alien life in the universe, although we've never experienced it, seems rational. It seems very rational. And if you were going to study an emerging civilization while we are these territorial primal beings with fucking nuclear weapons, this would be a good time to start exposing yourself.
Yes.
And to stop this nonsense.
Insanity.
Yeah. If there is some sort of advanced propulsion system, some revolutionary way of moving through space and time that the U.S. government has developed in some black ops program, that seems very likely impossible. That seems more likely than aliens visiting us. But there's more than one incident, and there's a lot of these things.
Does anyone still think we went to the moon? I mean, for real. So 51 years ago, we went to the moon, but we can't go back today.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to, but we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again.
Isn't our technology supposed to be better now? Here's what phones looked like 51 years ago. And here's Richard Nixon talking to someone on the moon using one of those phones.
Go ahead, Mr. President. This is Houston out. Hello, Neil and Buzz. I'm talking to you by telephone from the Oval Room at the White House. And this certainly has to be the most historic telephone call ever made.
That's right. Richard Nixon used a landline to call the moon. Do you guys believe that was real? Well, the real question is, why does anyone believe we went in the first place? Oh, because you saw it on TV? Do you guys think that video was real?
Houston, we've had a problem. Main B, bus undervolt. Roger, main B undervolt. Stand by 13, we're looking at it. Okay, right now, Houston, the voltage is looking good.
Who filmed the first shot of Neil Armstrong stepping onto the moon? Did they set up a camera crew before he got there? Was the cameraman the first guy to actually walk on the moon?
Well, let's talk about this, because this is fascinating. I remember very clearly, I think anybody who was alive at the time does. I remember my parents waking me up, and we went down and we watched you guys land on the moon.
No,
which
you
was
didn't. No, you didn't.
What?
Because
There wasn't any television. There wasn't anybody taking a picture. You watched animation.
Oh my God.
So you associated what you saw with.
I have very hazy memories.
I know.
Well, no, what we saw was we all were gathered around the old curved top radio and listened.
Talking about, how many feet we were going to the left and right, and then I said, contact light, engine stop.
It's
and a few
exciting.
other things, and then Neil said, Houston, Tranquility Base, the Eagle has landed. Man, how about that?
That was very exciting.
Not a bad line.
Yeah.
Where are all the stars? Where's the sun? Oh, supposedly they went in the daytime, and that's why you can't see the stars. But yet, there's the Earth. And does anyone believe they flew back in this piece of garbage?
3, 2, 1, ignition. Right away, Houston. Vector grid. Ag thought.
Look at the gaps in the panels on this thing. Isn't space supposed to be a harsh environment? They went through space and our atmosphere in this thing. Do you guys believe that? And who filmed the shot of them leaving? So the cameraman who was the first guy actually on the moon got left on the moon. That's kind of weak. Oh, and by the way, did you guys know that NASA lost all the tapes and telemetry data from the previous moon missions?
Seen
No
anything
way.
that indicates the telemetry data is even in existence, and as I said, even if we had it, we don't have the machines to play it back.
Doesn't have it either. Smithsonian doesn't have it. Johnson doesn't have it.
Right. We've been unable to track it down. I mean, we don't know where this telemetry data ended up, and we don't know what path it may have taken. So, unfortunately, I'm afraid I can't really give you much of a clue as to where this data ended up and whether it still exists or not.
And you're
Here
laughing?
we are, 51 years later, and we can't go back to the moon. Do you guys believe that? Like I said, guys, this stuff is make-believe.
Okay, so I'm back with more moon questions. Let's talk about the lunar rover. Have you guys seen this video? Do you think this looks real? Is that a dummy strapped to that thing? It's not moving. Also, a nice satellite dish. Has it got XM radio? Also, look at how the moon dust reacts. Kind of reacts just like dust or sand on Earth because it goes right back to the ground. I thought there was less gravity there. Speaking of that, isn't there supposed to be no wind on the moon? Look at the flag waving. Did somebody open the studio door? Yeah, it shouldn't be moving, right? There's supposed to be no air up there. Yet there's wind. There's obviously wind because that's what flags do. They wave in the wind. But guys, did you see the post-flight press conference when they supposedly got back from the moon?
It's our privilege today to share with you.
Have you seen 3 more depressed guys than these guys?
The details.
Why do they look so sad?
Of that final month of July.
Does it look like they just did what no man had done before?
Certainly the highlight for the 3 of us of that decade.
Aren't they supposed to be excited?
We're going to divert a little bit from the format.
These guys look depressed.
Past press conferences and talk about the things that interested us most, in particular the things that occurred on and about the moon.
This looks like a hostage video.
We will use...
Contrast this video with the pre-flight video. Something's off.
Or maybe we'd go the other.
They look happy, no doubt. Okay.
My wife and children have signed a statement that they have no germs and...
Maybe because before the mission, they thought they were actually going to the moon. After the mission, they realized they didn't go, and they were never going to go. But that's just me, guys. Alright, guys, question for y'all. Do you believe this story is true? I mean, come on. NASA flew a car-sized satellite up to the sun. First off, right off the bat, the picture's fake, obviously. You know, they didn't have a selfie stick on this thing so it could get a picture of itself in the sun. And also, it's still 5.8 million miles away, supposedly, from the sun. So that means it's traveled 87 million miles since 2018. Do you guys believe that? It goes 365,000 miles an hour.
Comments down below, guys.
What? I mean, are you kidding me? Look at it. Obviously, first of all, the picture's fake once again. But wouldn't it need to be sleek to go that fast without breaking apart? Yeah, I would think so. But I guess aerodynamics don't matter because there's no resistance in space. And there's no gravity, right?
Mhm.
Except for when they have to use Venus's gravity, apparently, in order to do a thing. Which actually leads me to another question. If there's zero gravity at the International Space Station, how come this thing can be affected by Venus's gravity?
Good point. Good point.
How come the International Space Station is not affected by Earth's gravity when it's really close?
Never thought about that.
Right? Relatively speaking. This stuff is such garbage.
Mhm.
Isn't the sun supposed to be hot? Isn't that what they say?
That's
How come this thing's not melting? The sun's really hot. How come it's really cold in outer space? Supposedly. And if the sun is really hot, and the closer you get to it, the hotter it gets, how come when you go to the tops of mountains, there's snow up there?
More questions than answers, guys.
Wouldn't it be hotter up there? And because heat rises too?
Mhm.
Just asking. Just asking. And also, how did they get a signal back from this thing when it's 87 million miles away? That's pretty far, right? Did you ever go just a little ways out of the city and all of a sudden all the bars on your phone drop? Like because you're just a little bit away from the cell phone towers? Isn't that strange? And yet they can get a signal 87 million miles away. Which leads me to another question. So supposedly the sun is 93 million miles away. And yet it's exact same size as the moon, which is really close, relatively speaking. That's weird, right? That they're the exact same size. That's why you can have like an eclipse. Eclipse works. That's a thing, right? That's strange.
Very strange.
I think it's strange.
If you got
Maybe it's not
answers,
really
guys,
93 million miles away. Because how would they know that?
comment down below.
Oh, because they know how big it is?
Yep.
Well, how do they know how big it is?
Yep.
Because they know how far away it is? How do they know how far away it is?
There we go.
Because they know how big it is? How did they know either of those two things without knowing one of them first off?
Because they're fraud.
This is make-believe.
Mm-hmm. I hear you. Loud and clear.
Clouds are 369 method. Nikola Tesla discovered the 369 method when he was studying the pyramids. He learned that you can manifest anything you want into your life. And your brain is the most powerful source of energy that you have. So if you align with the things that you want, it will come to you like a magnet. The 369 method just helps you focus on exactly what you want. And here's how it works. When you wake up in the morning, write out your desires 3 times. In the afternoon, write it 6 times. And before you go to sleep, write it out 9 more times. Doing this will allow you to focus on exactly what you want. Which is why he said the 369 method is the key to the universe. Enjoy your manifestations and follow me so you don't miss any more guidance. Y'all stay conscious. Kanye West and X exposed how music isn't what it seems. Without even realizing it, every time you turn the radio on, it has an effect on your body and how you feel. And this is because of all the frequencies that you're listening to. X even broke this concept down when he found out the power of frequencies in music.
If I play with those frequencies, right, I can target certain parts of the mind. If I want you to astral project, or if I want you to go to sleep, or if I want you to go into a meditative state, I can make my music do that.
Now the problem is almost all music these days is set at an 808 frequency, which is a very low frequency that we shouldn't be listening to. In this interview, Kanye West broke down the 808 frequency and what it actually does.
The 808 exists in the lowest chakra. It's an actual sound in the track that you don't realize is there that is fucking up your entire frequency.
And this is why understanding frequencies is so important, because sound waves are able to change your mood, which can ultimately change your day. Now researching the best frequencies to listen to can literally take hours. And that's why I put all of the best frequencies in one place, so that you don't have to waste your own time trying to figure out the best frequencies. All you gotta do is visit my website and it'll take you directly to it. This information is so important that I wanted to make sure that everybody can have access to it. So enjoy the benefits of this frequency guide. I love y'all. Stay conscious.
If you lucid dream quite often, there are astral beings who live in the dream realm who may try to contact you. Carlos Castaneda describes them as inorganic beings in his book, The Art of Dreaming. According to Castaneda, inorganic beings can be water-based or fire-based. The water-based ones are more dependent and tend to not leave you alone once they've made contact, whereas the fiery ones are more independent and mature. They are shaped like candlesticks and do not look human in any way, because they aren't. They live infinitely long lives but have much weaker energy bodies than humans do. Because of this, they cannot handle intense emotions from humans and will run away. As you begin to lucid dream, these beings will plant weird, unusual symbols in your dreams to get your attention. These symbols are called scouts, and it is their attempt to interact with someone who is an avid lucid dreamer. They ignore people who do not lucid dream, but as you become more skilled, your sentience will pop up on their radar. You will know when you are being sent scouts because they will not fit in with the rest of your dream and you will not be able to control these symbols. When you are lucid dreaming, you can look for these symbols and touch them, which will alert the inorganic beings that stalk you. But be aware that interacting with these organic beings will transport you into their astral realm. This is the place where they live and is very different from our physical realm with no laws of physics. According to Castaneda, many sorcerers have befriended inorganic beings because they have sacred knowledge about how to navigate the astral plane. These beings cannot lie and won't do anything without your permission, but they are excellent tricksters. The closer you get with them, the more you won't want to come back to the physical. Comment for part 2.
If you still think we're the first advanced civilization to exist on Earth, then this will change your mind and blow it at the same time. Okay, so this is a map of pyramids all around the world, all allegedly built independently of each other and all having identical structures that follow this similar step pattern. Now I know, most historians will tell you, oh, it's just the easiest tall structure to build. It's human nature. If it's so easy, why are our 21st century brains not capable of doing what dozens of ancient civilizations have repeatedly been able to do? We got the famous pyramids of Djoser in Egypt, but everyone knows about those. Across the world, there's Chichen Itza, Pyramid de los Nichas, Tikal Temple, the Great Pyramid of Cholula, among others in Mexico. And then on the other side of the planet, we got Kokur and Prasat Baksay Chem Krong in Cambodia. Off the coast of a tiny Japanese island deep within the ocean is the sunken Yonaguni monument, a supposed 10,000 years old, older than even the Egyptian pyramids. All with a nearly identical look, yet built by completely different cultures with zero contact among each other and thousands of kilometers apart. But this is just the tip. We got way more lesser known pyramids, even older than the Egyptian ones, that ain't even standing anymore. Like the Gunung Padang temple in Indonesia. Doesn't look so hot now, but used to be a step pyramid a whole 9,000 years ago. At least that's what they thought, until a more recent radiocarbon analysis shows that the lower parts of this temple go as far back as 28,000 years. Then this enormous hill in Bosnia was studied, and almost every archaeologist that visited it confirmed that it could not have been naturally formed, perfectly aligning to true north among many other characteristics of pyramids. These studies found out this hidden monument is over 35,000 years old and would be the oldest and largest pyramid in the world, hidden under years of vegetation. But the Bosnian government strangely halted further study on this thing for some reason. There's a crazy story behind what they found there, which honestly deserves its own video, so I'll probably be dropping that sometime. Fallen Pyramid of Hellinikon in Greece has boulders that are joined so tightly that even a human hair can't fit through the joints without any sort of ancient cement used. Built around 3000 BC, meanwhile an almost identical masonry techniques was found in these walls in the city of Cusco in Peru, called Sacsayhuaman, over 11,000 kilometers away. And how old are these walls? Mainstream history will tell you they were built around the 15th century, but researchers recently uncovered a writing system built directly within the blocks of these walls that's well over 30,000 years old. Again, a topic that deserves its own video coming soon. This exact method is also found on a site called Ahu'vinapu on the remote Easter Island, older than even their legendary Moai heads, as well as Khafre's Valley Temple in Egypt. How did our ancient ancestors figure out these identical building techniques completely independent of each other when we still have no idea how they did it to this day? Now we get to the Ellsworth Mountains in Antarctica. Okay, get your tinfoil hats ready for this one, because this satellite footage from 2016 shows what could be a pyramid buried in the South Pole. This map from 1513 by sailor Piri Reis shows a perfectly accurate coastline of Antarctica, even though it wasn't officially discovered 300 years later in 1820. What's weird is this map connects South America to Antarctica, which it could very well be that over 10,000 years ago these two continents were connected by a sheet of ice. Researchers claim this map was sourced from an even more ancient document that survived from the Library of Alexandria in Egypt, which was destroyed by the Romans. What if the builders of Giza left this map as directions as to where else they put pyramids around the world? And the pyramids are just the start. Take a look at these ancient artifacts from Bolivia, Turkey, Indonesia, and Easter Island. 4 completely separate corners of the world, all with identical carvings and artistic styles used, and again, thousands of kilometers apart and absolutely no contact among each other. Just another coincidence, right? Now get a load of this one here. I know it sounds crazy, but you'd be surprised. Ancient lasers, or at least some form of precision cutting technology that is on par with our modern drilling methods. From these perfectly cut stone patterns in Pumpampunku, Bolivia, to the unfinished obelisk at Aswan and the boxes at the Serapeum of Saqqara in Egypt, made of granite, one of the hardest materials ever, with insane accuracy only achievable with today's technology. The Al Nasla rock in Saudi Arabia literally looks like a giant laser beam just cut right through it. Meanwhile, the Kailash temple in India, which was somehow cut into a cliffside with perfectly symmetrical hallways carved with copy-paste level precision. Not to mention the perfect doorways carved into Barabar caves thousands of years earlier. And these star holes found in Flint Quarry, Massachusetts, and even all the way in Norway, all indicating some sort of highly advanced drilling or precision laser technology used. The incredible list of similarities among these ancient cultures tells us that they all clearly had some sort of external influence that guided them, which they actually recorded proof of directly into their stone tablets, wall carvings, and hieroglyphics. Alright, that might be enough for now. I think I'll save that for another video, so keep an eye out for that one if I don't disappear before then.
Preach!
Ever wonder why the
Bro.
powers that be
Wow.
always broadcast what they're gonna do before they do it?
What's
It's
that?
not to avoid karma. That's
Mhm.
not how karma works.
How does
the
it work?
reason is because the powers that be are archons.
Mhm.
Archons were spoken about in the ancient Gnostic texts. Archons are thought forms that cannot manifest on their own because they have no love or connection to the cosmic womb, and therefore cannot utilize the law of attraction. So they use us humans to manifest by putting ideas in our faces. Once we see the idea and experience an emotion about the idea, we manifest it for them. So they don't tell us what they're gonna do before they do it. They tell us what they want to happen, and we make it happen by experiencing negative emotions about it happening.
I hear you.
Undeniable proof that we're in a matrix.
Yes, bro. Matrix time. There we go. The world disappears. No way. There we go. Matrix time. Okay,
Bro,
we
what
got
in
here?
the fuck? A glitch in the Matrix? The motherfucker is just floating there. Dead.
Man.
There's nothing around it.
Oh well. There we go.
Just floating there.
I told you. We're living in the Matrix.
I think she's liking the like.
What's happened to her hair? What's going on here? Okay, 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional, crisscross, check. Okay, what we got here? Thanks for stopping by. If you like what we're doing on this channel, just spam the like and subscribe button for us, and of course your comments are welcome down below. Let's get back to the videos. Oh dear. Oh, there we go.
By the way, this video is scripted and for entertainment purposes
If
only.
you believe in the Matrix, guys, comment down below.
Most people have heard about the invasion of Hamas into Israeli land, but not many know how the tensions between these two groups got so bad. Jews and Arabs have been fighting for the Holy Land for hundreds of years, and it all dates back to near the beginning of Judaism, when Moses and Joshua led their followers from Egypt, crossed the Jordan River, and settled in this land in 1000 BCE, where the Kingdom of David was formed. Jews had occupied this land for a little over 1,000 years until Islam was formed in the year 610, and the Arabs took over most of the region by 636. Not one group has ever had full total control over the Holy Land, where Jews, Christians, and Muslims all lived in this region, but the Arabs did control most of the land throughout the Ottoman Empire. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, a new Zionist movement was growing in popularity, where Jews were looking to re-establish an independent Jewish state, ideally in Palestine. As World War I ended and the Ottoman Empire collapsed, Britain was in control of the land and signed the Balfour Declaration, declaring the land as belonging to the Jews. In the years following, there were many anti-Jewish riots led by the Arabs in this region who didn't want to see the land given back to the Jews, so England started walking back on their promise of establishing Israel as a Jewish independent state and created new borders for both Arabs and Jews to live in this region. It eventually got to the point where England was limiting the number of Jews that could immigrate into Israel, who were all fleeing Europe during the lead up to World War II. After World War II in 1947, Israel and Palestine agreed on giving the West Bank to Palestine, but Palestinians still felt more land was theirs. In 1967, the Six-Day War broke out between Israel and the neighboring Arab countries, which resulted in a victory for Israel, who now had total control over the land. Palestinians still lived in the West Bank and Gaza Strip, but now Israel had military control over these regions in an attempt to maintain peace. This gave rise to the PLO, which is the Palestinian Liberation Organization, whose mission was to end Israeli military occupation in the Gaza Strip and West Bank, and also the more extreme group known as the Hamas, which has been labeled as a terrorist organization by virtually everyone other than the United Nations, whose main goal is to fully wipe out Israel and all the Jews. That brings us to today, where the Hamas in the Gaza Strip just entered Israel in the Kerem Shalom crossing, breaching the border fence and attacking the military base there. Hamas then passed through the Erez crossing and into Israeli towns with not much resistance. Hamas says these attacks are only the beginning of a long war.
The Mexican government is throwing the Pentagon and Congress under the bus. If you haven't heard, there was a really big UFO and UAP hearing in Mexico. And for anybody who was disappointed that we didn't actually get any hard proof or evidence of UFO, UAPs, or extraterrestrials from our own hearings, then take a look at the evidence that was presented in this UFO hearing in Mexico.
What was it?
These are the remains
of 1,000-year-old pilots. This is an unprecedented and unexpected reveal by the Mexican government in their UAP congressional meeting. The Mexican government is saying that we are not alone, we have not been alone, they are advanced, they have technologies beyond knowledge, and that it is something that we can learn from, and that our children, our future generations, can be traveling the stars. The alien bodies that we're seeing were actually recovered in a mine in Peru. They were found in 2017 between Palpa and Nazca. They are not a part of our evolutionary line, and they've been carbon dated to about 1,000 years old.
Wow.
The Mexican government says they are not mummies, that the bodies are fully intact, and they have been thoroughly researched. The expansive research done by the government on the alien bodies included X-rays, digital tomography, carbon-14, forensic analysis, biological analysis, genetic analysis, biological computer analysis, analysis of metallic implants, spectrometry, histology, physical analysis, and more. With some very interesting organizations involved, such as Lockheed University and Harrisburg University. The bodies are fully preserved, including all internal organs and all DNA that they have put through extreme analysis. They have literally all the information. We know what these extraterrestrials are made of. I wonder if we're in communication with them as well.
Interesting.
As you can see, the Mexican government is not holding anything back. They're even talking about how the Pentagon refuses to release this information.
Are they?
People in the world, no, the governments do know this is a real thing. It has been covered up, and it is time that it comes to light, and it is time that we evolve. It is coming clean and giving us everything. They're even talking about the ships that we have, the backwards engineering, how we're supposed to be using the technology, how we should be moving forward and evolving so that we can mingle with these races and travel across the stars. So much just came out. And while I'm excited for this news and all the updates it's going to bring, I am concerned that there may be a disinformation campaign coming up because, look, people have to share this from their TVs. Like, I'm seeing recordings from other people's TVs because, for whatever reason, it is so hard to find. It's almost impossible for me to find this information and find these live streams. It aired live on Mexican television. And after I was looking all over YouTube, I've been looking all over the internet, I couldn't find it. I had to look through news articles, and one news article that was covering it had a link that led me to a YouTuber, unidentified S4. They even had a little translation pop up. I'm going to have a link to their video in their channel in the description.
So there was a lot of things covered in that. They presented us with visual proof of extraterrestrial bodies. They also presented us with all of the scientific proof of all the testing that they've done on the bodies, verifying that they are true, because there are other bodies that have been recovered from this area of the world that were supposedly extraterrestrial that ended up later on being debunked. So the fact that we have all this research is really important. But I think it's really interesting how we're actually getting into the discussion of what it takes to be a part of the cosmic community and the evolution that that takes, and that the whole reason that they're here giving us this information is so that we can learn, so we can eventually join the cosmic community, and our future generations can be starfaring generations. The name of that creator of that YouTube video is below, and you can find that video, which has the link to the official full video with the translations attached.
Comments down below, guys.
What you think?
Yep, comments down below.
The trippiest things we have ever found in space that live in my head rent-free. Oumuamua was the very first interstellar space object that ever wandered into our solar system. There was a lot of debate for many years whether or not it was a comet or an asteroid because it didn't necessarily line up with either one of those characteristics. It wasn't going very fast, but it's also slowly picking up speed. It was discovered in 2017 as it wandered through our solar system and has since left on its own trajectory, just floating on through the cosmos. Now, this object was absolutely massive. Based off what we can gather it was made of, scientists have estimated that it's worth like $1 quadrillion or something because of how many space minerals and metals are inside of this object. Now, of course, there's also been some questioning as to whether or not this is some sort of interstellar probe that has been sent from some other intelligent species across the galaxy.
It's not?
Black Knight satellite has been a center focus of many conspiracy theories for many years. So it all started way back in the day when Nikola Tesla discovered some strange radio signals that we couldn't really identify where they were coming from. And of course, when Nikola Tesla was doing his work, we didn't have anything in space, so there shouldn't have been anything that was sending out radio signals. But it's also been documented that this might be the reason that the space race even ever began, because this might have been up there in orbit before any human beings was putting anything around the planet in orbit. Now, it's also worth noting that NASA has released a statement saying that this is space debris from the very first mission of the ISS. Supposedly, it's a wayward thermal blanket that broke loose while his team tried to attach an American module to a Russian module on the ISS. Let's look at this image one more time, though. Does this look even remotely like a thermal blanket? There are many aspects of images of the Black Knight satellite and characteristic traits of it that people do not think are representative of space debris from the ISS. So what do you think? Is this from us, or has this been there way longer?
Comments down below, guys.
This strange anomaly that was discovered by the James Webb Space Telescope is a quite normal shape for stars or galaxies or nebula to explode into. And this has to do with the way that the energy rotates and tends to spiral when there is a large cataclysmic explosion event. However, on a spiritual note, nothing is a coincidence. And it is very on brand for humans to be left a literal question mark as a catalyst to make people ask the big questions. So while this one isn't necessarily weird, I think that the correlation of why it looks like a question mark is a bigger conversation than just, oh, well, that's when all the energy goes.
Question everything, guys. Question everything.
Talking about black holes. Because black holes are some of the most insane things scientifically and mathematically that we have ever discovered, and we still struggle to even understand how they really work. Now, the most interesting one to me is the most supermassive black hole we have ever discovered still today.
618.
It's called Ton 618. And Ton 618 is huge. It is 280,000 times the size of our sun. That little tiny dot in the center is the size of our sun. That is how big the Ton black hole is. But in addition to that, this black hole has a higher mass than all of the stars in the Milky Way galaxy combined. It is massive and is still to date the most massive black hole that has ever been discovered. Now this next one is utterly insane. This happened during the passing of Comet Leonard, which is right here, and Comet Leonard passed Earth in December of 2021. And the footage that NASA caught of this is insane because it surely looks like there is a shield expanding to protect the Earth from the tail of Comet Leonard. And there's a couple different things that are interesting about this footage. The first thing that's interesting about this footage is that the shield does not appear until the tail of Comet Leonard becomes almost in alignment with where the Earth is. The directionality of the shield's projection is also very interesting because it is literally directly between where the tail of Comet Leonard is and the Earth.
Who's protecting Earth? Comment down below, guys. I don't know.
In 1986, a mysterious cloud emerged from this African lake, and because it was heavier than air, it ended up descending on a nearby village. The people and animals of this village started to go unconscious, and thousands ended up losing their lives. So what happened? Well, this mysterious cloud contained 300,000 tons of carbon dioxide, and to this day, geologists still don't know what triggered its release.
What I'm about to show you will completely blow your mind.
Okay.
These are the first cracks to appear in the continent of Africa, which means Africa is splitting into two distinct continents. And why this is so crazy is because cracks spanning several miles has been found, and these cracks are splitting at a rate of 18 millimeters per year, which is of course massive. As you can see, this is the part of Africa that will separate and sever off. This will not affect Western Africa, which includes Nigeria. However, the parts that will be affected would severely be destroyed. Now, this would trigger a lot of earthquakes and tsunamis.
A series of strange videos portraying mysterious stone rocks found all over the world in Africa and other places are leaving absolutely everyone baffled. In this video, a guy puts a nail on top of one of these rocks, and this is what happens. Check this out.
What happened? Let's have a look. Oh, the rock's cracked, split in two, bleeding, liquid coming out. Okay. Black liquid.
No one knows exactly what these stone rocks are made of. In this next video, in Africa, a guy gets one of these rocks and shows that it has some sort of electrical property. Check this out. This is completely out of this world.
Wow. Do you know what this rock is? If you do, please put the comments down below. Let us know, because I've never heard of or seen this rock before. This is extraordinary. A rock with electricity? Wow. Wow.
Okay, let's talk about out-of-place artifacts. The Antikythera mechanism, also known as the world's first computer. It was discovered in the year 1900 in a Greek shipwreck, and has since been dated to around 100 before Christ. With help of this mechanism, you could calculate certain astronomical events, like the solstice, planetary positions, and even solar and lunar eclipses. And the crazy thing is that a device comparable to this one can only be found 1,300 years later. It just doesn't make any sense. In addition, inscriptions on the machine also say that there are pieces missing. So what else could this machine have done? Even modern watchmakers today are in awe of its construction, and would probably love to talk to its creator, which is still unknown. The most popular theory is the Greek inventor Archimedes, who allegedly built a couple of these machines. Or could it even be older than the ancient Greeks? It does use the ancient Egyptian calendar, but either or, this object definitely questions history's timeline.
Akhenaten is one of the most mysterious figures in history, mostly because he may have been an alien. Akhenaten was the 10th ruler of Egypt during the 18th dynasty. He's most famous for his bizarre appearance, having a seemingly elongated head and extremely large features, while also looking oddly feminine. He ruled for 17 years, completely disrupting Egyptian life, and then died. The reason some people believe the pharaoh was an alien has a lot to do with the way he looked. He's skinny with a protruding belly and large eyes that take up way too much of his extremely large head. Plus, there was allegedly a medallion found in an Egyptian temple that showed the pharaoh Akhenaten with a UFO hovering above him. There have been many other weird artifacts found surrounding this pharaoh, and many of them seem to suggest he was at least in cahoots with a race of extraterrestrials.
Watch this right here.
Okay. What do we got? Baby crying.
This family is being haunted.
Are they?
Do you think it's real?
What is going on here? Okay, not scared. Fair enough. Oops. What do you see, son? Oh dear. Okay, someone in the mirror.
No, that means 5 minutes. Morning you are going to school. I said no. 5 minutes. And you will off the game? No. I said 5 minutes. My mom always says, I'm tough and
Okay. Is the ball moving? Okay, there. Ball moving. Headphones left. Oh my goodness, headphones moved.
A series of videos of people vanishing mysteriously out of thin air are going viral all over social media, and people are freaking out about it. I'm gonna show you guys a couple of these videos. Check this out.
Hey, you kids, step forward, please. Facing forward, thank you. That's what I like. Whoa. Everybody, hang on! Oh. Is everybody okay? Kids!
Well, bus driver proceeds to check the bus. Nowhere to be found, no one to be found. Nothing there.
Listen, the bus, the
He calls the
kids.
police, and then this happens.
I
Driving down the street, I look up, and they're gone. It was just vanished. I couldn't believe it. Okay, cut the bull. This will go a lot easier.
What did you do with it? Something doesn't feel right about this one.
Accident here, okay? Look around the bus. There's
Slow down. Slow down.
Okay.
Slow down.
I don't believe it.
I know you didn't get an accident. You just told me that.
Okay.
The kids are gone.
They're gone.
Are
I don't
they?
know where they went.
How many
Are
kids
they gone?
45.
Hello? Hello, police? Anyone on the bus? Hello? Is anyone on the bus?
Police officer proceeds to check the bus. No one there. Then this video goes viral.
Plow into a tree. Now there's this crazy school bus driver. He's freaking out. He claims the kids on his bus just vanished. There he is. He's freaking out.
In this next video, a police officer captures a similar event on camera.
Okay, what's that? Let's go.
Hey, how's it going?
I was speeding, wasn't I?
Yeah, you completely blew past that stop sign in front of me.
I did. I'm so sorry. I literally didn't even see it.
All right. No
This is my
worries.
first time being pulled over.
All right. Can I see your driver's license registration, please?
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
Here's my license, but this is my mom's car, so.
Where are you headed to? You're speeding and missing stop signs.
I was just headed to a friend's house. It's like literally right there. It's a birthday party. So,
Got it.
Not mine, but...
Any drugs or alcohol in the vehicle?
No, of course not.
All right. Sit tight, Sarah. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Your registration is What the? Sarah?
Gone.
What the heck? Sarah?
Okay. Disappeared.
3201. The dispatch.
What's going on here? And now this.
Freaking out.
What is going on?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. What happened? Oh my
What,
God.
babies
I'm
disappearing?
sorry, I don't know. I have no clue what's happening. There's people. There's people screaming.
What is going on?
Sorry about that. I guess people like disappeared or something. The cops just showed up. This doesn't even feel real. I have no idea what's going on right now. Everyone's freaking out. I'm freaking.
Well, I started researching the topic and I found out that most of these videos are coming from a page called Dr. David Jeremiah, and it's actually a marketing campaign, a very smart one, for a movie called The Great Disappearance that talks about the rapture. But even so, a lot of TikTok pages and YouTube channels are propagating this as the real deal. But even
I knew
so,
something was
I want to
wrong.
know your thoughts. What do you think about the rapture? Is it about to happen? Does it have anything to do with aliens or whatever? I want to know your thoughts.
Something seriously strange is going on with Kanye West. Now, Kanye in 2023 looks completely different. He looks so different, the internet believes that this isn't the real Kanye. And some
Kanye
people have
looks
gone as
mean
far to
there,
say
man.
that this is Kanye's clone. Now, the scary thing is, Kanye went missing for about a month after his outburst at the end of
He looks
2022.
angry.
He then came back a month later with a new wife who no one's ever heard of. And ever since he's been back, his behavior has been a little bit strange. I mean, him and his wife recently turned up to church looking like this. Kanye has also ditched the traditional shoes and trouser combination and replaced it with socks and leggings.
Oh,
People
man.
are even saying his facial structure has changed. But it gets even scarier. In October last year, Kanye went on record and quoted that if he ever disappears, it's not him and you know why.
If I ever went anywhere, we'd know why. You
There we
understand what I'm saying?
For some context on how he looks now compared to then, here's him before he went missing, and here's him after. Now, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Kanye has a history of doing very interesting publicity stunts. But regardless, something definitely doesn't add up here, and the internet are clocking onto it. Let me know your thoughts on this really bizarre Kanye situation.
Comments down below,
I'm gonna
guys.
show you guys 3 strange glitches caught on camera. Check this out. A woman captured what looked like a squirrel showing up out of nowhere. To be more precise, out of a shadow. Pay very close attention. I don't get this video.
I am
Matrix
witnessing a
or a
glitch in the
glitch.
fucking Matrix, and I swear to God, if this
Where
squirrel
is it?
come back out,
Where
I'm
is
gonna have
it?
a panic attack because if you see his
Okay.
nose,
Something's there.
I'm not going crazy. Oh my
There.
God, wait, stop it. There's nothing there. There's not a grate there. There's not a fucking grate there. Where did this bitch just come from? What the fuck?
Wow.
He just came out of nothing! Don't run towards
A group of friends captured what looked like the sky dividing into 2, day and night. Check this
Real
out.
motherfucking shit right now.
Fuck, I think the sky just broke.
What the fuck happened with the sky?
It broke.
Why is New Mexico this fucking obvious on our weather? You can either have a sunny day
Or a gloomy
or
day.
a fucking cloudy day. But why is it obvious? And what the fuck is going on, bro? This is weird.
Madness.
Seth of 7-Ear Witch captured something chilling after buying a guitar. Strange things
I've
started
never had an
happening.
issue with ghosts or any weird, unexplainable stuff in my house, but I bought a guitar the other week at a garage sale from this old lady down the street, and every time I pick it up or strum it or play it, really weird shit happens, and I'll show you. It's some Lotus, like, very 80s looking guitar, and every time I strum, like
It's
that.
haunted.
Shit like that happens every time I mess with this thing.
Oh dear. Oh.
Mandela effect.
Uh-huh. There we go.
In Michael Jackson's hit song, Smooth Criminal, I remember it being, you've been hit by, you've been struck by a smooth criminal.
Yes.
But apparently in the dimension that I'm in now, it is, you've been hit by, you've been hit by.
Nonsense.
Second, I remember a few years back hearing about Bob Barker sadly passing away. But apparently the dimension that I'm in now, he is alive and well, and he is 99 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Third, I remember being a kid and seeing the music video by Britney Spears, Oops, I Did It Again, and she was wearing a microphone in that whole video.
I saw that.
But apparently the dimension that I'm living in now, that never happened.
What?
Fourth, I remember being taught in school that the capital of Australia was Sydney.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently the dimension that I'm living in now, that is not true. The capital of Australia is apparently Canberra.
What?
And fifth, I loved E.T. when I was a kid. And
So
this
do I.
one infamous line that he did in the movie where he points to the window, he says, E.T.
Phone home.
Phone home.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently the dimension that I'm living in right now, that never happened.
Nah.
He points to the window and he says, E.T. home phone.
Rubbish.
What is going on?
Tell me, bro.
These celebrities are really playing each
Comments
other.
down below,
Watch
guys.
this.
Deep
You know
down
what's going
inside you, you know there's something wrong with these politicians. You know there's something wrong with these reporters.
Mm-hmm.
This little group of people that just seem to echo each other and ignore the rest of America. It's as if the system has been hijacked. It's as if humans are no longer in control. You know, these are actual different people. Heather Graham, Jayma Mayos, Michael J. Fox, Scott Wolf, also the other Bush brother.
They look like twins.
Lucy Hale, Selena Gomez.
Well, we've been cloned.
Who are these people? Jennifer Carpenter, Hope Solo.
Why do people look so...
You might think they're the same people.
Yeah, why?
Look at this one. Ian Somerhalder and Rob Lowe.
Why do people look the same like this?
Rosalind Sanchez, Nicole Schertzinger. And look at these two.
Does anyone know why?
Are they clones?
Oh,
Is
are these-
one real and not the other? How about Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Javier Bardem? Or Judy Greer and Anne Hesh? Ladies and gentlemen.
What's going on here? What's going on?
What about Renee Zellweger and Joey Lauren Adams? There's more.
Are all these people twins?
Robbie ML and Colin Egglesfield.
Clones?
And there's more. What about Evan Rachel Wood and Alexandra Breckenridge? Are they clones? What are the chances all these people would look alike? Kate Blanchett, Anna Torv. Does it feel like the show The Fringe out there? Oh, Homer Bailey and Christopher Bale? Are these clones? What about Helena Christensen and Cameron Diaz? Are they clones? Jessica Biel. Like the devil. Christy Turlington.
They must be clones.
Dan Radcliffe, Elijah Wood. Look at these two. It's amazing.
Can't be a
Who are these people on television? Look at this one. Joseph Levitt and Heath Ledger. Is there more? Oh yeah, there's plenty more. Chris Humphreys, Taylor Lautner. Oh, this is the worst. Bob Saget and Stephen Colbert. Bradley Cooper, Paul McDonald. You notice that one?
Something's going on. I don't know what it is, but...
What about Megan Fox and Tamara Esselstone?
Why do we have so many people that look alike like
Huh? What about Linda and Mila? What about these two?
this? Weird.
What about Paul Rudd and Ben Affleck?
Weird.
You might think these are the same people.
Well, they're not.
No, let's not miss this one. Courtney Cox and Nelly Furtado.
In 2013, a strange and unusual creature was captured on video in the Indian Ocean. The footage, taken by a remotely operated underwater vehicle, shows the creature floating at a depth of 3,700 feet. This bizarre being transforms itself looking like a monster before suddenly shrinking into a tiny black ball shape and then transforming into a lemon squeezer shape. The video serves as a reminder of the many unknown wonders that exist in our planet's waters. The ocean remains one of the least explored environments on Earth, and it is likely that many other strange and mysterious species are yet to be discovered. The video provides a unique opportunity for scientists and researchers to study and learn about the unknown creatures that reside in the ocean depths.
Interesting.
On April 4th, 2023, Valentina Rueda Vélez, a Colombian model, shared this clip during a recent flight on a private plane. Watch closely. You can see the object approaches at high speed and in an instant gone. The shiny metallic surface shows no clear seams or weld marks either.
UFO! Haha!
What you are seeing is some of the best, most high-quality UFO footage captured to date. A distinction must be made between credible sightings of unidentified aerial phenomena such as this, and the recent false flag UFOs allegedly shot down over the United States and Canada.
All those who said that it didn't exist, look at it. Huh? Oh boy. UFO guys, comments down below.
Oh my god. They better get up or they're gonna hit the power lines.
What's this? A tsunami? That sounds like fish, birds.
Holy fuck!
Flock of birds. What, huge. Massive.
Oh
Humongous.
my god.
What's going on here?
This is called Black Death. It
Oh
is the
my
most sourest
goodness.
candy in the world.
There we go.
Not suitable for anyone under 8 years of age.
Don't tell me you're gonna try
This is how
it.
they look, guys.
Black
so
Death, yeah?
Scary. What does it look like? It's made out of glass and concrete. Let's give it a go, bismillah.
There we go. Oh well. Oh, why would you do this to yourself? Stupid. There we go. Rubbish. You fool.
I don't know how to describe it, yeah? Feels like there's like a metal rod at the back of my throat. Let's give it a go.
Another one? Oh, you can't be serious. Black Death. And you're crying. We're at the hospital, guys. Strange occurrences in the hospital. What's wrong with this guy? Seems to be fighting. Oh dear. Flashing lights. Okay. Lights going on and off in the house. Okay. Little girl, what are you doing? Who are you talking to? What? Oh my goodness. Haunted? Ghosts? Spirits?
Did you know the current war involving Israel is connected to end times Bible prophecy? I'm about to share something you may have never heard before, so be sure to watch until the very end. There are numerous prophecies in the Bible that must come to pass just before Jesus' return, and many of them relate directly to the nation of Israel. Daniel chapter 9 foretells that in the last days, the Antichrist will sign a peace treaty or a covenant with the nation of Israel. This peace treaty will set in motion the beginning of a period known as the Great Tribulation, which occurs right before the second coming of Christ. According to prophecy, just 3 years after brokering the peace deal, the Antichrist's true evil nature will be revealed as he moves to destroy the earth. But here's the craziest part. For nearly 2,000 years, this prophecy could not have come to pass because Israel did not exist as a nation to sign such a treaty. So in May 1948, when Israel became re-established as an independent nation, It enabled this and all other end times biblical predictions to potentially be fulfilled.
Thanks for watching. We appreciate your time. See you on the next one.